U.S. Navy launched something that shouldn't exist. Iran can't stop it. On January 26th, footage surfaced from Iran's Revolutionary Guard showing a mock U.S. aircraft carrier overwhelmed by a coordinated drone swarm. The message was blunt, almost theatrical. American carriers are visible, reachable, and vulnerable. The implication was even clearer. If conflict erupts in the Persian Gulf, waves of inexpensive one-way attack drones could saturate defenses and exhaust billion-dollar missile inventories before U.S. jets ever leave the deck. It's a compelling narrative. Cheap versus expensive. Quantity versus quality. Arithmetic over technology. But war rarely unfolds according to propaganda math. Let's walk through what would actually happen if that scenario moved from staged footage to real-world engagement in the Strait of Hormuz. At 6 a.m. local time, 12 radar returns lift off from a coastal site near Bandar Abbas and head south. They are Shahed 136 one-way attack drones, slow, propeller-driven munitions guided by pre-programmed GPS coordinates. Once launched, they don't adapt. They don't maneuver intelligently. They don't communicate mid-flight. They follow a digital breadcrumb trail until they hit something or run out of fuel. Their engine produces that distinct, high-pitched buzz that has earned them a nickname in other theaters of war. But sound is irrelevant over open water. What matters is detection. High above the carrier strike group, an E-2D Hawkeye drifts on patrol, a silent sentinel in the sky. Its AN/APY-9 radar sweeps hundreds of miles in every direction, cutting through the chaos of surface clutter to isolate every genuine airborne threat. When the 12 drones finally clear the coastline, they don't sneak in as anomalies. They appear as routine contacts, fully exposed, instantly trackable. But the Hawkeye is just the eyes. Within seconds, its vision radiates across the strike group. Through cooperative engagement capability, every destroyer, every combat information center, sees the same battlefield as if looking through a single, unified sensor. The sky, the sea, the threats, they are no longer separate. They are a single, shared tactical reality, unfolding in near real time. This is where the economic comparison begins to shift. Yes, the drones are cheap. Yes, a modern interceptor missile costs vastly more. But detection is already complete. Tracking is stable. Engagement solutions are calculated long before the drones approach lethal range. At 20 kilometers, the first line of conventional defense activates. A destroyer's 5-inch deck gun, firing proximity-fused rounds, reaches out. These shells don't need direct impact. They detonate near the target, releasing high-velocity fragments into composite airframes never designed for battlefield survivability. Within seconds, 3 drones disintegrate mid-air. Closer in, the layered defense tightens. The Phalanx close-in weapon system, its radar-guided 20mm rotary cannon, spins to life. Thousands of rounds per minute create a tungsten wall in the sky. Drones that cannot maneuver unpredictably don't survive long inside that envelope. Rolling airframe missiles engage next. Heat-seeking, agile, and precise. 5 launches, 5 impacts. 90 seconds after the first shot, the initial wave is gone. On paper, it looks expensive. Millions spent to eliminate targets worth a fraction of that cost. Iran's doctrine depends on that imbalance. The assumption is simple. Repeat this cycle enough times, and the carrier's magazine's empty. When interceptors run out, the swarm breaks through. But that assumption relies on something critical, that missiles remain the only answer. At 6:50 a.m., coastal launch sites activate again. Not 12 drones this time. 76 rise in staggered formations. 20 more hold back at low altitude near shore. This is saturation doctrine in practice. Overwhelm sensors, drain interceptors, create gaps. The Hawkeye paints the entire formation as it spreads across 2 bearings. A destroyer may carry 96 vertical launch cells, but not all are dedicated to air defense. Some hold ballistic missile interceptors, while others carry long-range strike weapons. The arithmetic becomes uncomfortable. 60 interceptors against nearly 100 inbound drones is not a sustainable exchange if every threat requires a missile. And this is precisely where the equation changes. On the forward deck of one destroyer sits an unassuming flat panel array. No rotating dish, no visible barrel, no dramatic silhouette. For years, it blended into satellite imagery as just another communications upgrade. It isn't. At 7:20 a.m., with the larger wave approaching engagement range, the order is given. Weapons free. The system, known internally as Project Meteor, activates. There is no flash in the sky, no smoke trail, no visible intercept. From the perspective of the surveillance drone orbiting overhead and transmitting video back to Iranian operators, something deeply confusing happens. Drone camera feeds begin dropping simultaneously. Not one by one, not in fiery bursts. Entire clusters simply go dark. Behind that flat panel, thousands of gallium nitride semiconductor elements generate focused, high-powered microwave energy. Unlike kinetic interceptors, this weapon doesn't need to destroy airframes. It targets electronics. GPS chips operating on milliamps suddenly experience energy surges measured in amps. Guidance systems fail instantly. Flight controllers shut down. What was airborne becomes inert. 37 drones fall from the sky almost simultaneously. No explosions, no debris clouds, just gravity reclaiming hardware that no longer functions. A 6-second recharge cycle. The array slews electronically, no moving parts, no mechanical delay, and pulses again. Stragglers at the edge of the engagement cone lose power and tumble into the gulf. Seconds later, the second formation meets the same invisible wall. 35 more contacts vanish from radar screens. 76 drones neutralized in under half a minute. No missiles expended. Now the reserve wave descends to wave top altitude, skimming just above the water to hide within radar clutter. For a brief window, they disappear beneath the radar horizon. Even the most advanced sensor has geometric limits. This is where layered defense still matters. At 11 kilometers, a merchant vessel inadvertently forces the sea-skimming drones higher. They reappear on radar. Meteor pulses again. 16 drop. 2 survive at the extreme edge of detection. Phalanx finishes them. 96 drones launched. 96 destroyed. Missiles used in this phase, 0. But escalation doesn't stop. At 8 a.m., ballistic missile launchers near Shiraz fire 2 College FARS anti-ship ballistic missiles. These descend at Mach 3, carrying heavy warheads and terminal guidance seekers designed to adjust aim in final seconds. Simultaneously, fast attack boats surge from Bandar Abbas harbor, armed with anti-ship cruise missiles. Another 80 drones lift off from multiple coastal sites. This is combined arms pressure, air, sea, and ballistic threats converging in layered timelines. Ballistic missiles require kinetic interceptors. 4 SM-2 Block IIIC missiles launch vertically, climbing toward high-altitude intercept points. Here, a new complexity emerges. High-powered microwave energy does not discriminate between friendly and hostile electronics. A microwave pulse could disable an interceptor as easily as a drone. So Aegis, the strike group's integrated combat system, begins real-time sector scheduling. It assigns time-sliced engagement windows. Meteor pulses in sectors clear of friendly missile flight paths. SM-2 interceptors are routed through corridors outside the microwave cone. Everything is deconflicted in milliseconds. The ballistic threats are destroyed at altitude. $8 million spent, but against warheads capable of catastrophic damage. Meanwhile, an MH-60R Seahawk helicopter engages the fast attack boats with Hellfire missiles. 6 boats neutralized before reaching launch range. The 80-drone wave meets Meteor in calculated pulses, spaced to manage thermal load and power draw. 4 bursts, 24 seconds, 80 drones down. Iranian electronic warfare units attempt jamming. It doesn't matter. Meteor transmits energy. It doesn't rely on receiving a signal to function. Then comes a final surge. 60 more drones from dispersed launch sites. Meteor disables most in rapid succession, but sustained pulsing engulf. Heat pushes cooling systems to their limit. A 90-second cooldown window becomes necessary. For the first time in the engagement, the old arithmetic reappears. 7 drones survive long enough to close distance. Phalanx eliminates 3. 2 are intercepted by rolling airframe missiles. As Meteor comes back online, the final pair lose power mid-flight. By engagement's end, approximately 300 drones, 2 ballistic missiles, and 6 fast attack boats have been neutralized. It's a conventional expenditure, 4 SM-2 interceptors, and 6 Hellfire missiles. Everything else was handled by directed energy powered by the same generators running the ship's radar and air conditioning. But the tactical destruction is only half the story. Every drone launch site that opened blast doors was geolocated. Every mobile missile launcher exposed its firing position. Coastal radar stations that activated to support the attack revealed frequencies and coordinates. The Hawkeye's wide-area surveillance didn't just track inbound threats, it mapped the entire launch network. The strike group now holds a comprehensive targeting library: hardened shelters, storage depots, radar nodes, command posts. Iran's swarm doctrine depends on attrition, bleeding an adversary's magazine dry. Directed energy shifts that paradigm. Ammunition becomes fuel. As long as generators spin and cooling systems function, the engagement capacity resets with each recharge cycle. That doesn't mean the system is invincible. Thermal limits exist. Line-of-sight constraints remain. Combined arms pressure complicates sector management. But the fundamental economic trap, cheap drone versus expensive interceptor, no longer guarantees advantage. The real transformation isn't just a new weapon, it's integration. Sensors, kinetic interceptors, helicopters, and microwave arrays operating in synchronized choreography, managed autonomously by combat systems, computing faster than human reaction times. The strategic message is quiet but unmistakable. Swarms designed to exhaust missile inventories may find themselves facing a defense that doesn't rely on missiles for volume threats, and ballistic missiles and high-value targets still demand interceptors. But disposable drones, once considered an asymmetric equalizer, encounter a system built specifically to erase their economic leverage. Modern naval warfare has evolved beyond counting interceptors or tallying missiles. Victory now hinges on precision, on the ruthless choreography of energy, time, and sectors across a sprawling 3-dimensional battle space. And when directed energy is thrown into the mix, the rules themselves begin to twist. The cost of miscalculation rises exponentially. Iran's footage promised inevitability. Carriers overwhelmed, layered defenses shredded, decks struck before planes could even lift off. But reality, the true face of this new war, would be quieter, deadlier. Invisible pulses slicing through the void, circuits frying without warning, sensors flickering and dying, entire formations unraveling mid-air, dissolving into nothingness, leaving no fiery trail, no cinematic explosion, just absence. A sudden vacuum where the enemy had been, not dramatic, not cinematic, but in its precision and finality, utterly decisive. The battlefield is no longer noisy, it is surgical. The roar of engines fades against the silent calculus of energy, and only the smart and the prepared survive. If this deep dive gave you a clearer picture of how tomorrow's naval battles might actually unfold, don't forget to support the channel. Hit subscribe, drop a like, and turn on notifications so you're ready for our next breakdown as soon as it goes live.